And once more, hello everybody to more Mechabellum. Thanks for watching and listening. We are going for some sledges, and I always love going for sledges. Playing against the blissful Dot, apparently blissfully aware that munitions are supposed to explode, so it continues its existence, I guess. We have sledges and arclights on the other side, and there's crawler, tarantula. I kind of always want to call them just spiders. Crawler tarantula for me. Let's just speed along the first round. I had some marksmen because they tend to do very well into everything he has, and my opponent goes chaffless and also adds marksmen. Well, that is certainly a move, going chaffless, but I guess it's fine because tarantulas, they kind of do a lot worse into units than chaff, in my experience. Maybe it's about the same for arclights. Like they kill a bunch of crawlers at the same, or a pack of crawlers in the same time it takes for them to kill an arclight. It's taking forever to position these units, feels like. Anyway, chaffless, the marksmen are going to be very happy because they can start plinking away at these ledges without anything else being in the way first. You're gonna see if the tarantulas are holding on for long enough before it takes, before it takes all of the other units to kill the tarantula. On the right side, the crawlers did not, no, I should say it differently. On the left side, the crawlers actually got in. It is probably, yeah, it's going to be a win for me because this marksman targets the tower and it can't turn in time for my marksman to shoot it. The arclight here on the left was locked onto the tarantula before it actually ended up shooting more chaff. Maybe it even died before then. But at the end of the day, that is the reason why there were crawlers targeting my opponent's marksman and almost killing it. I go for a shield because my opponent doesn't really have good DPS here. I'm not yet sure, but I'm relatively certain he's also... No, he's going for underground threat. I'm positioning a lot of crawlers around the board. Spec-wise, he is speed spec, and I'm fortified, so technically my crawlers are actually stronger than his crawlers. But at the same time, there's like, what? I think this is 3 times 9. Probably 3 times 8. So this is 24. I'm pretty sure that 36 crawlers spawned from one of these. So there is a distinct advantage that my opponent has with a crawler spawn over a just crawler pack here. I guess that has to be the case balance-wise, otherwise the combat power would be absolute hot garbage. I do have the advantage of fortified spec, but I don't think it's going to be enough. He does position some chaff. I'm honestly not much of a fan of positioning them here because the sledges are actually faster than the fangs. So the unit that's supposed to chaff in front to take the hits is actually a bit further behind. I have some reinforcement crawlers here. But yeah, these fangs stopped because there was crawlers to shoot, so they didn't push further ahead, even though technically they have less range than the sledges. Finally, they start to actually put their chaff abilities to use. However, I am losing that tower. My opponent's crawlers won, so I lose this round, and I am probably going to lose the shield as well, because... Oh, actually, no. I'm not going to lose the shields, because the crawlers are killing the marksmen before it even comes to that. Even without the debuff, I'm pretty sure I would have lost this one by quite a bit. We have some improved firepower control system here. Well, what am I going to throw this on? I'm throwing it on the tarantula. My opponent... I go for more tarantulas. My opponent goes for some wasps. These are going to do very well into a board that otherwise has no real chaff, and the tarantulas can't even kill it. Also, the wasps, they are definitely doing a lot of damage with the firepower control, even at level 1. I'm pretty sure this is 14 wasps. So technically there should be 10 attacks per second, so these do about 3430 DPS. That can very quickly kill a tarantula, even if it has 20k. Meanwhile, we see some Arclight levels. I'm not sure why he even levels them. There is no real reason, in my opinion, to level them right now. And more Fangs. That is absolutely powerful, of course. Fangs are better chaff into Tarantulas. No Crawlers, though. And Crawlers are really good. He also has no protection in the flank against something that would be coming in. But I don't flank. Unless I'm getting flanked. And combat powers don't count. Neither for me nor for my opponent as far as this rule is concerned. Anyway, there's some wasps, and the only things that can shoot up are my two marksmen. One of them level 2, but into wasps, levels kinda don't really matter for marksmen unless it's absolute giga wasps. The wasp killing has begun. So far everything is still shooting chaff, but soon all of the firepower is being directed onto these two poor spiders. They are, however, actually putting the hurt on the sledges, and the marksman is kinda halfway through with the wasps. It probably is leveling off that, yeah. Wasp kills aren't insane quantities of the XP, but they are notable quantities of XP. The marksman repeatedly loses its focus and has to retarget and gets gunned down because it's out of the shield. And even if I manage to kill the entire ground board, there is nothing left to shoot up. The wasps do too much damage as the Arclight is tanking. So the round ends with a win for my opponent yet again. Alright, we have Typhoons, Fire Badgers, Sabertooths. I really like Sabertooths. And of course, the dreaded Melting Points. I decide to go for the Typhoons here. They should be good, I hope, at least. They can definitely clear chaff, and they can absolutely lay the hurt on the wasps, like, for sure. That spider also leveled, and with the damage item, it is definitely doing some scary amount of DPS. My opponent went for the Fire Badgers. Yeah, that's fair. Chaff clear kinda is his problem right now. He's also taking a very long time to do that sort of stuff. And he's starting with the Fortress spam. So picking these into forts is definitely not a good choice. I guess my opponent's thought process at this point is to try and kill the spiders and potentially the spider mines very quickly, but he ends up putting it on the side that I have these poor Typhoons on. So that fort is going to get a boatload of experience points just of this one kill. Look at this. It's basically almost 3/4 of a level progress there. So, yeah, big forts are going to happen here. It is stuck on chaff for a little bit, but finally starts working on the other Typhoon, and meanwhile the Typhoon is doing little more than tickling to this. I don't know why it currently says that the Typhoon is doing 7k damage per shot, because... Actually, huh? That don't make sense. What are these stats? That must have been some kind of bug. I bet the unit that I'm looking at right now is a completely different unit, or maybe the stats got all messed up. I don't know what that bug is, but it hopefully is only a visual thing. Typhoons with 7k damage per shot at level 3 without items or buffs or anything else would be scary. I guess they would become Aggro's best friend. Tech Specialist or Absorption Module. My opponent likes the Absorption Module, and on a level 2 Fortress, I cannot blame him for picking that over Tech Specialist. I, however, am a sucker for Tech Specialist because I am a sucker for economy. It's always the economy, stupid. In any case, I did end up, I think, winning the last round. I didn't even watch it, to be honest. I only was thinking about the Fortress and the unit that was bugged up. The Fortress spam continues. 2 more Fortresses. I have no idea why, but he's selling the Fire Badgers. I don't know. In the past, when Scorpions were better than they are right now, I really enjoyed sometimes playing Typhoon Scorpion. And with Fort spam on the horizon, that is definitely looking like it's an option here. The shield kept the damage away, I guess at least for one fortress only to lock on. But that means that this fortress is still going to level to about 3/4 very quickly. On this side it's looking a whole lot better. My Tarantula with the item is definitely going to lay a lot of hurt on the opponent. But it's being laid a lot of hurt upon by the fortress. You can see the health bar of the fortress moving with each shot. That is good. But still, fort too big. And the fort that heals is too big as well. This is spiraling out of control. But the Scorpion was doing well, and now I get a lot of extra money to work with, would be my guess. Overlord, not really that good into all of these marksmen. Rhino, not good into fortresses, but it is a lot of money. Steel balls would also be an option, but I'm not very experienced with steel balls, and I don't have a load of chaff that they can hide behind. There is underground threat coming up, and I decide that maybe I need an advantage and should probably go for some crawler replicate. So when he throws that on my side, I can replicate off his crawlers and get a bunch of extra chaff. Not for free, but he could also, like, it also wards off any crawlers in the flank. I decide to drop in this round alone 3 level 2 Scorpions, and they have double shot, which means that they can definitely start competing with the health of the fortresses. He does decide to put crawlers here. What else does my opponent do? He's definitely taking a long time to think, when all you need to do is hit this button twice, and you make a good move automatically. Almost. Yeah, what did I say? Sell something, sell some sledges, level that one fort. Okay, he sold... I don't even know what he sold. Decided to go for Speak Spec and throw Launcher Overload on the forts, so they definitely now have less damage, actually. Less range, actually, than my Scorpions. And the Scorpions do blast away. Forts are starting to fall. Even this big fort is feeling the pain. The Typhoon gets to do some work on some of the wasps, but ultimately the Overlord is just a big pain here. However, I have basically an entire second army approaching, and there still is some chaff left over, so it ends up killing everything my opponent has, and it's a pretty big win for me.